myth chasers. It's time once again to test out your weird and wonderful myths and theories in the ever-changing world of Fortnite Battle Royale. If you have a myth that needs busting, throw it in the comments below and the best ones will be chosen in the next episode. So upvote your favourites to make them easier for me to spot. Please think about using code ADAMARU to keep this series going, and if you aren't already, now is a good time to subscribe. It's free after all. Anyway, sit your butt down for 10 minutes, let's chase some myths. Our first myth of the day is from Crazy Cut, who asks, with Doom's arcane gauntlets, how many people can you chain the damage with? I love this myth. As you know by now, one of Doom's attacks sends a green bolt of energy through a player, and if anyone is close enough, the energy will leap over to them and smash them with the same damage. The question is, if we get people together, how many people will that continually chain through? So I put out a call on my Discord, and we all met around this grumpy bush. Without realizing, we made a Dr. Disrespect / Tim the Tatman face. Once the group grabbed the weapons, the question was simple. If I shot one player in this circle, would the blast travel through every other person? Well, here we go. Okay, so that was very random. It doesn't look like distance matters at all. So let's try it again. Nope, right away we can bust this myth that everyone will take damage. They simply don't. So I lined everyone up in a straight line this time to make it easier to understand what happens to the lightning. I asked them to stand up if they were hit by the blast. Here we go. So, as you can see, the blast will only hit 7 people maximum before the charge empties. We tried this multiple times to test this theory, including using pretty humongous gaps between players, and the results were conclusive. Doom's arcane gauntlets can chain together 7 strikes between players. Wow, this is like a real science class. Next myth, please. Remember when the Cars update dropped, and I thought we'd have myths to chase for months? Well, we didn't have that many actually, but one myth took my eye. Check this out. Can you recreate the car update trailer and see if a helicopter really does explode like that? I like this myth. So I'm sure you've seen the trailer in which all the vehicles in the game go on this epic road race of carnage ending like this. A huge ball of fire engulfs everyone when a land vehicle hits a flying vehicle. So our task is to use the same setup on the same bridge and recreate that moment and see if a direct hit from a 4x4 will result in an explosion like that. So we set off, this time with a much smaller group of people from the Discord because everyone was asleep. Who knew that was a thing? We had a director this time, keeping things on track, and this here is our first effort. Okay, hitting a helicopter from a ramp on a mountaintop is way more difficult than we first expected. Or maybe we're just complete losers. Both probably. We tried and tried and tried, and somehow we finally got there. Here is how it went down. I'll cut in the shot at the perfect time in the trailer. So, that was another epic failure. The integrity of a helicopter is far higher than a land vehicle and simply throws the truck to the side. For this to work, we needed to get the chopper down to a single hit, which we did, and here is our final attempt at recreating the explosion. So technically it is possible to recreate the opening Joyride trailer, but there's a little more to unpack here. Firstly, I decided to hide in a bush nearby to see if the explosion was as wide as I thought and would wipe me out too. And yeah, holy heck it did. The blast eliminated everyone. Everyone except the chopper's pilot. So what have we learnt here? The chopper is mightier than the motor car, and Fortnite trailers are not always completely made in-game. Let's have another myth. Panda asks, can Mystique lift Thor's hammer out of the crater? Wow, this is big brain material here. So can Mystique lift Thor's hammer? For this one, I needed to grind to level 86 in the battle pass to unlock Mystique and her abilities. And in real life, I just spent real money because I'm a sellout, and I thought if I didn't do this quick enough, someone else would do this in the myth chasing community. Anyway, so I quickly completed the challenges to get Mystique's new ability, and all the while I left Thor's challenges completely alone. Then a friend and I jumped into a game. I was Mystique, he was Thor. He gave his life to try this myth out. I used Mystique's intrinsic ability to become Thor, and the moment came. Is Mystique able to lift Thor's hammer? Well, no, this was complete failure, which led to me being eliminated. Nothing happened at all. But that's not the end of this story. I loaded up the replay file, like I do with all these videos, and check out what happened. In the replay, Mystique, dressed as Thor, did indeed lift Thor's hammer for a moment, before the hammer switched back to being my fork knives again. So here's my issue. Is this a successful myth or a busted one? In-game, nothing happened, but in the replay file, Mystique lifted Thor's hammer. Was it a glitch? Hell yes it was, as Mjolnir was still on the ground, as well as in Thor's hand. I mean Mystique's hand. Unless they can duplicate hammers, this myth is busted. But hey, that glitch was totally worth spending crazy amounts of money on. Let's keep trucking. Next myth, please. Do the Stark bots have glider redeploy? I never thought about that. Good question. The Stark tech bots can be found around the map guarding the Quinjets. Will they pop a chute when forced into the air? The problem we have is that the launch pads have been vaulted from the game, so we need to think deeper here. Here's the plan. We hack the bots and then make them follow us all the way to Steamy Stacks. To answer a double myth, what happens when a Stark bot reaches Steamy Stacks? And if they do fly, will they pop a parachute? Let's do this. Luckily, there is a spot near Steamy Stacks which was super easy to get to. The difficulty though was actually getting the bots to go into Steamy Stacks. They constantly broke our builds. In the end, we used fishing rods, and here's what happens. The bots fly in Steamy Stacks, but the surprise here is that they do not ever open a chute. There is no glider redeploy on these things. They sort of slow down as if they have a glider, but nothing is there. Pretty cool indeed. I also found out today that we can build over Steamy Stacks and edit all tiles regardless of if they're in contact with anything at all. I mean, it's totally broken up here, but I had a lot of fun. I know you think this is pointless, and you're right, but pointless is what we do around here. Oh, and here's another myth whilst we're on Stark bots. Super says, myth, can Stark's robots use rifts? So once again, we hacked the bots and led them to the rifts, and although they had trouble doing what they were asked, they finally obliged, and have a look at this. The bot does indeed use the rift, and now we know there is no glider redeploy. Are they just going to go splat? Well no, they actually slowly descend, landing perfectly before going back into their random shooty bang bang mode. Happy days. Okay, let's fit in one last one, and it's from my own son. Xander asks, what is in the locked room on the helicopter base? So let me translate. On the helicarrier is a super secret vault hiding in plain sight. The thing is, it's completely locked and we are unable to find the key and unlock it. What on earth could be inside? Well, this is an easy one to solve as we have a free camera and can check in replay mode. Are you ready for this mind-blowing item inside? It turns out all your friends are waiting inside. Look, all none of them. Sorry, I don't know why I made this about you. Yep, there is absolutely nothing in this room at all. I'll be sure to keep an eye on it because having this mechanic in the lobby could be something in the future. So I'll keep an eye on it and let you know what's going on. So there we have it, a load more Fortnite myths chased and busted. If you've stayed this long, here's a digital high five for you. Thanks for sticking around. On screen now are more absolute legends who are kind enough to rock my code ADAMARU in the store and send me a DM over on Twitter. My intention is to reply to everyone. Thanks for supporting me, I really appreciate it. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.